Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6 p.m. on the East Coast, and you are tuned in to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Braden Robinson.
And I'm student meteorologist Alex Cordero. And Braden, it's about time. We've been seeing this cold weather finally impact our area. Lows in the upper 50s, and I don't think highs reached the 80s today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really nice day. Really actually cloudy, a little gloomy today, but that's kind of going to break up and give us that sunny weather over the next couple days.
Yes, the sunny weather has finally started to peek out over the horizon about now, and it's warming up things a bit, but not warm enough to our seasonal, or not seasonal, I should say, the temperatures we've been used to seeing.
Absolutely. We saw those we're going to see those upper 50s over the next couple of days. We've been seeing low 60s over the last 2 days, and only a high of 74 degrees today with that cloud cover.
Yes, and I expect this trend to continue throughout the week, which would be nice because it's about time we start feeling seasonal. We wouldn't want to have summer conditions heading into November, especially with all that humidity.
Yeah, absolutely. Beginning of October, we're finally starting to see fall. It's going to be really nice over the next couple of days. Halloween may be nice.
Yes, Halloween, and it doesn't look like the tropics are quieting down either. We're going to talk about that a bit too, see if there's any tropical trouble later on in the show. But other than that, the clear skies, the bright sunny skies, it's been very nice. It's been very comfortable today, a nice reprieve from the humidity.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be the same over the rest of the week. We'll go ahead and get you out to the wall with Chris, who'll give you a quick overview of what's going on today.
Thanks, guys, and we are setting up a typical fall-like pattern across the country. As you can see, we got a system out towards the Rockies and out west of us, and we just had a system clear us yesterday, which ushered in all that cooler weather. And moving into our neck of the woods, you can see the radar is quite clear for the most part. Just a little bit of specks picked up on the rain, but that's not any rain at all. Clear skies abound, some clouds as we head to our south and to our east, but those will be clearing out as our night continues on, and we'll see a much drier, sunnier pattern come Thursday, Friday, and into your weekend. Now, the headlines though, fall has definitely arrived. I don't know about you, but if you walked outside today, you got to feel that cooler weather. You got to see that. It was the stereotypical fall day, something like you see on a Halloween movie, right? Cooler mornings ahead though, much cooler mornings, and much drier ahead for sure. No rain to be found. Tonight, though, we're talking 59 degrees, beautiful morning. Get out there and enjoy it. But for now, we're going to take things back at the desk.
And back to the local stories. I know we do have something very big brewing around our neck of the woods in FSU, right?
Absolutely. We're going to be looking at the FSU Flying High Circus Halloween series on October 17th and 18th and October 24th and 25th.
Yes, doors open at 7 p.m. to these events. The show starts at 8, and I'm quite excited. I know here FSU's got quite the top-notch circus event.
Absolutely. And of course, if you can't make it in October, you'll be able to see the spring series. But from what I've been told, definitely the Halloween show is the one to go to.
Yes, and I wouldn't be mistaken to see a lot of maybe ghosts, goblins, the typical stuff you see in Halloween.
Absolutely. We'll give you a little bit of background information about the FSU Flying High Circus. Kind of cool stuff. One of only 2 collegiate circuses in the nation, and the only one with their own big top.
Yes, only one and only 2 out of the entire 50 states. That is quite impressive, I do say so myself.
Absolutely. The circus, all the students work, no credit hours, no service hours. They do it just for fun. We'll go ahead and get back to weather, though. Bring it out to your local with Raquel. Raquel, how's it going today?
Well, great, guys. And that Flying High Circus, wow, I am going to go to that. Sounds very exciting. So the temperatures for the past 24 hours. Now, this roller coaster graph just is a good indication of how the temperature changed in the past day. We see that it reached from 86 degrees yesterday at 4 p.m. and dropped all the way down to 64 degrees early this morning. And our high today was just a mere 74 degrees. Look at that. 74 degrees and our low this morning, again, 64. And that is way below our average for this time of year. So we're seeing that fall-like pattern. It just very much in time. Current conditions right now, we do have those partly cloudy skies, and that is due to the remnants of that stationary front that's still located over South Florida. And the dew point at 61. So we are going to have a very dry week ahead of us. We have a slight breeze as well. Current temperatures right now, again, as I mentioned, 74 in Tallahassee, 73 in Quincy, 77 in Wilma. So Wilma is actually quite warm. And that may be due just because it's a little bit more inland than us in Tallahassee. And to our the east side of our region is 72 in Perry. So we're just seeing 70s all across the board tonight. And again, those current dew point temperatures is a good indication of how dry our region is. So we're sitting comfortably tonight, or we're going to sit comfortably tonight at 61 degrees. And again, it's a little also a nice sneak peek actually of how low we might actually drop down tonight. Satellite radar, we are just very clear right here. Just a few offshore showers. And again, we're just going to continue to see this nice pattern of dry and cool air for the next few days. Futurecast just showing all this moisture from south to central to South Florida, all the way up to the Carolinas. Again, that was due to the cold front and the low pressure system. And that's just giving us a little bit of that cloudiness. However, as we head into the rest of the week, this high pressure system is just going to bring us those nice and dry conditions, those nice and cool conditions. We might actually flirt with the lower 50s this week. So just continue to expect those nice conditions, maybe even wear a sweater. Tonight's forecast, you're going to sit tonight at 59 degrees, very cool. Again, wear that sweater. A few clouds and a nice breeze between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow's forecast, you're going to be sitting at 83 degrees, and that is going to be a very cool morning. A lot of sunshine, just a nice cool day. And for your 7-day forecast, again, as I mentioned, very nice and dry. We do start to see a little bit more cloud cover as we head into early next week. Again, as I mentioned, those temperatures are going to drop the next few days. Look at that, 56 on Friday evening. So you might want to wear that sweater. Now we're going to head it off to the rest of Florida and the southeast with Ryan.
Thanks, Raquel. Look at these temperatures today in the 70s across the southeast. Nice change from the several past days. We've had temperatures in the 80s over the early part of the week. 74 degrees was your high temperature today in the capital city of Tallahassee, Florida. What a nice change. It felt great outside. And 75 in Atlanta, 78 in Savannah. A little bit cooler on the Carolina coast, 62 in Wilmington, where we have clouds and rain. We'll talk about why. Here we are right now. A coastal storm off the Carolina coast impacting the Outer Banks up through the Virginia Tidewater and the Delmarva. Behind it, though, dry air, high pressure dominating much of the southeast with the exception of the Florida Peninsula, where we've got some trailing rain showers along that front that provided us with the clear, dry air. We'll zoom in a little bit closer for you, and we've got, you see, earlier in the day we had a lot of low clouds across much of the Florida Panhandle, South Georgia into southern Alabama. But through the day we saw dry air eventually filter down to the surface and clearing out just for the afternoon, just enough for those high temperatures to reach the mid-70s. Overall, we've got that dry air in place as the ridge builds in across the southeast. The general flow out of the north, but look at this coastal storm spinning off the Carolina coast. That'll bring rain showers extending into the inland areas of the Carolinas up through the Virginia Tidewater. So Norfolk, Richmond, across Delaware, up the Jersey coast is where we're going to be dealing with impacts from that heavy rain, stiff winds, and that'll be trailing down into the Florida Peninsula, where South Florida could be dealing with some residual showers from that. Here's that coastal storm. That'll hang out across the Carolina coast, not really going anywhere. We've got a ridge across the northeast that is keeping that in place. So stiff winds, heavy rains could see 2 to 4 inches for the Outer Banks of South Carolina, or North Carolina rather. And high pressure from the west builds in, providing us here in the Florida Panhandle and the rest of the southeast with very cool, comfortable conditions, sunshine, dry air, what you would expect for a nice October day. Tonight's forecast across the southeast, well, we're going to cool down really nice with that dry air in place. 55 degrees in Atlanta is what we'll drop down to. We'll drop to 58 in Tallahassee after some 60s the past couple nights. A little bit cool, so pack the jacket. 55 in Montgomery, 56 in Tupelo. Tomorrow, dry air, sunny skies across much of the south. We'll bounce right back into the 80s. 80 degrees in Atlanta, 85 in Tallahassee, 85 in Montgomery, and 81 in Little Rock. For now, we'll send it back to the desk, though.
Alrighty, and thank you for that. I saw a lot of sun on that map, but contrary to all the sunny weather, we saw something cool in Tampa and Miami, right?
Absolutely. A couple water spouts. Yesterday, water spouts spotted off of Biscayne Bay down in Miami. Also, the season of water spouts continuing in Tampa with one off of the Howard Franklin Bridge.
Yes, Tampa Bay has been known for getting these this year. Of course, the cool pictures taken from the one that had that nice slant and that direct picture. If you remember that one, that was a very famous water spout that didn't occur too long ago. And honestly, I expect we might see a few more before this season ends.
Absolutely. Water spouts, contrary to popular, people think water spouts can be a different phenomenon. Water spouts are really just tornadoes over water. It just sucks up the water just like it would any debris on land.
Yes, but naturally, since they are formed the same way tornadoes are, you can have some that are major or not still take them seriously, but they aren't as strong. Only unless you're in a boat near them should you be concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. If you see a waterspout and you're on the water, definitely a time just to think about what you're doing. Maybe hunker down in your boat, maybe get away from it if you can. But we want to make sure you're safe. We'll go ahead and bring it out to the rest of the country with Raquel.
Thanks, Braden. Wow, waterspouts. Well, we do have a few offshore storms right now with that cold front just trailing from the South Florida region all the way up to Washington, D.C. And you might actually see some waterspouts just coming off of that storm. So again, just current conditions right now. As I mentioned earlier in our forecast, we're sitting comfortably at 74 degrees with those partly cloudy skies. And now we do have that low pressure system, the remnants of Karen, just lingering across the mid-Atlantic. Right now, all across the Washington, D.C. area along the coast, there's actually a flood advisory for most part of the region. So just want to just stay safe out there. Just make sure you want to go a little bit more inland, if anything. Our 24-hour temperature change. I love this graph just because it can really illustrate where all the systems are at. We did have that offshore, or the remnants of Karen right here by the mid-Atlantic, and that's just trailing, that is part of the cold front that's trailing all the way up to Washington, D.C. And you can see that as there's a 7-degree difference from yesterday to today, and as well as a 6-degree difference for Miami. For us, though, we're not seeing too much of a difference, a couple of degrees less than usual. And to our west area, we can see that we just have a couple of systems out here by the Rockies, and that's just going to bring snow for much of the area. So we do have this low pressure system just building up Southern California, and that will drift its way up toward the Dakotas, and that will bring a lot of snow for those regions. Right now there is actually a winter weather advisory and watches along those Rocky Mountains. Just a lot of snow just coming out of those low pressure systems, and that stationary front just dragging all the way up from the Dakotas to Southern California, and that's just going to stay in place for the next couple of days. For us, or for the Northeast, however, as I step to the other side, we do have that cold front just bringing in all of that moisture, as I mentioned earlier. Again, cities such as Atlantic City are under a coastal advisory. A coastal flooding is possible. As we head out to our west, though, actually we're just going to take it down to South Florida. We do have those pop-up showers again. It's just the remnants of that cold front, and they're just going to stay there for the next couple of days. For tonight's forecast, we're just going to stay nice and cool in Tallahassee and 75 degrees in Miami. So now we're going to take it back, or now we're actually going to send it over to John with our local. How's it looking, John?
Just like it is across the rest of the eastern part of the country, it's quite clear here in Tallahassee as well, at least it is now. Earlier today we had a lot of cloud cover, and that kept the temperatures up overnight to right around 64 degrees. During the afternoon hours, those clouds fell apart and the temperatures tried to come back up towards 73 degrees. Our actual high was 74 degrees once the cloud cover came off. Right now we're sitting at that high right now at 74 degrees, and that temperature could even climb a degree or two as we get a little bit more heating in before sunset tonight. Humidity is starting to come a little bit farther down as the northerly winds. Here's that cloud cover that I talked about. You can see that blanket of cloud cover this morning, and that kind of fell apart as some warmer temperatures came out of Georgia and into the area. And as soon as those clouds came off, all that heat was able to work back down into the surface, really warmed us up. 74 degrees right now. As you can see, up towards the north, 76 in Macon, 77 in Montgomery, where they've had a little bit more sun this afternoon. Still a few clouds hanging around here in Tallahassee and down towards the south, and a little bit warmer down towards the south in the middle 80s, where that cloud cover has been away for most of the day. You can see the remnants of Karen pushing off the southeastern coast. They're going to scoot right up near Cape Hatteras in South Carolina and North Carolina, and going to move right up the east coast. This is going to be out of our hair over the next couple of days. What we're going to see instead is high pressure working on into the area from the west, and this is going to bring in slightly cooler mornings and warmer afternoons, and also drier conditions. That's going to be great for the upcoming weekend as well. We're going to see fantastic beach conditions. We're looking at northeasterly winds at 10 knots, so a little bit of wind to blow up the kite, keep it up, but you're not going to see a chop on the water. 1 to 2 foot seas right along the coast, with 1 to 2 foot seas as well out into the Gulf with abundant sunshine. No wrecking your plans there. For tonight, we're looking at 59 degrees with mostly clear conditions with a northeasterly wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, we're looking at 83 degrees, It's going to be a cool morning, but we're going to get way up into the 80s, quite a bit warmer than it was today. It's going to feel like fall still, though. Fall is on its way, still coming at mid to low 50s for the mornings later this week. 59 for Thursday morning, 56 for Friday morning, with sunshine prevailing for the next couple of days. And that forecast is remaining the same for at least through the end of the weekend. We're going to see a couple of clouds build in by Monday and Tuesday. No rain chance at all for anywhere in our forecast. Temperatures in the morning in the upper 50s. We're looking a little bit warmer as we head into the weekend, into the mid 80s. Slight cool down as we head into the early parts of next week. Now, it was clear here this morning, but we didn't have any northern lights here. Where else did we have them?
Well, we did see a lot, or some people in the Northeast have seen those northern lights, haven't they, Ryan?
That's right. The clear conditions have persisted across much of the north, and for areas in the upper Midwest and northeastern United States, saw a rare sight for the second time in 2 weeks. Areas across Michigan, New Hampshire, Maine saw northern light displays over the past few nights.
Yes, and they're also called aurora borealis, and they're actually caused when they're created by the radiation from the sun. When it reaches the earth, it actually just reacts with the protons in the ionosphere, or rather the upper atmosphere, and that just causes that nice display of lights.
That's right, lots of pretty colors, purples, greens, pinks, typically seen in the upper latitudes, so areas around Alaska and northern Canada, not too common across much of the United States, but every so often you do get to see them. Unfortunately for us, though, we're not going to see them down here.
Nope. However, it would be a nice early Christmas for many people up there. Now we're going to send it over to Alex with around Florida. What's going on, Alex?
Early Christmas might be too soon for us. However, the cool temperatures definitely are reminiscent of that special time of year. 74 degrees right now in Tallahassee, with those clouds finally starting to break off. Sunshine is becoming apparent, although we won't see much sunshine for much longer as night does set in. And we have cloudy conditions persisting the further we go south, and the warmer conditions persist too. 82 degrees in Miami, 83 up in West Palm Beach. Current winds right now coming mainly out of the north, and this is because of the wind on the backside of what once was Tropical Storm Karen and the cold front that has since passed over us. And it's been feeling nice and comfortable, even though it's a small wind of 3 miles an hour at Tallahassee. We've been feeling that. And in Orlando, a little stronger at 13 miles an hour, feeling much cooler across the area. And the dew points have been dropping since as well. Yesterday, we saw a dew point at around 70 degrees, and now with 61, you can start to feel that it's not so humid and uncomfortable out there. But the further we go down south near Miami, where it's always humid, it is still feeling a little uncomfortable for them. Water vapor showing a lot of dry air. That's indicated by this orange-brown color you can see here. That's following from all this moisture. This white is where that cold front is, and it's since passed over us, and we're seeing nice, cool, dry conditions for our area, and that's going to continue for the next 4 or 5 days. And you can see a little bit of some rainfall approaching near Broward and Palm Beach counties, but I don't expect that to reach the coast. And for us, not looking in the way of any rainfall whatsoever for the Big Bend region. We go further down near Orlando, Tampa, looking quite nice. Over in Miami and Broward, a little sprinkle here or there, but nothing in the way of anything severe like they saw yesterday with those water spouts that Braden and I have mentioned. For our beach forecast, we're not looking at too much, a little bit on the windy side with 10 knots coming out of the northeast. Serve 1 to 2 feet. UV index going to jump up with those sunny skies, so make sure you bring your sunscreen. The water cooling down from 80, and it is now 78 degrees. On the water, though, it's going to be a little rough as well. Northeast 10 knots again, waves at 1 to 2 feet. A live chop, but abundant sunshine. It is the perfect day to go out there if I were you, so I would get to going and on those boats. Tonight's forecast, starting to see 50s, a little more. That's going to be the bigger story throughout the next week. 58 degrees in Tallahassee, 59 in Jacksonville, the yellows in the 70s, down on the southern tip of the peninsula, 75 in Miami, and 65 a little warmer off in Pensacola. Tomorrow's forecast, we're not looking at much of any difference. We're going to be seeing 80s across the area, across the Big Bend region, Jacksonville, South Florida. We're seeing much of the same situation. And as you can see here, sunny skies will persist for the northern part. But Braden, about sunny skies, it looks like we'll be staying that way, and I don't think we're going to be troubled by anything in the tropics, will we?
Absolutely not, Alex. We are going to be giving you a quick look at the tropics, but as Alex mentioned, not much going on. So we'll go and take a second look at your national But first, let's get into your tropical update. There we go. Check out your hurricane climatology. And you see, really, in October, if we're going to see storms, we're going to see them maybe form out here in the Caribbean, move up into the Gulf of Mexico, maybe into Florida. Again, not much going on in this area at this time. However, something off the coast of Africa is going to, we're going to keep our eye on it and see what's going on with it. Your storm names for this year, as you can see, Jerry has happened. Karen has also been a name already, as you know, with the remnants of Karen. We'll go ahead and correct that for tomorrow. And you'll look at your enhanced satellite. You can see again up here, up in South Carolina, the remnants of Karen, bringing some moisture up to South Carolina over the next couple days. But out here, out into Africa, this is what we're going to be looking at way out here. This nice little thing right here, a 30% chance of development, not too high and not going to be affecting our area anytime soon. We'll be keeping a very close eye on it, but not expected to bring much to our area over the next couple days. Again, a look at your national, looking currently 73 degrees out in Kansas City, 83 in Dallas, 84 down in San Antonio, but up in the northeast, you're getting you're getting those cooler temperatures, 56 in Seattle, 52 out in Billings, Montana. Your water vapor imagery showing moisture up in the northwest with that cold front, but out near our area in the southeast, drier conditions, very dry air over Florida, over our area in Tallahassee, and again, from the remnants of Karen, moisture up in the northeast. We'll go ahead and go into your national radar, and again, you can see that up in the northwest, a couple showers starting to form along this line, along this cold front that's beginning to form up in the northwest. And behind us, you're going to see right there the remnants of Karen bringing rain to North Carolina, up in Maryland, near Washington, D.C., up in those areas. That is where the remnants of Karen is right now. Tonight's forecast, looking at 75 down in Miami, 59 back home in Tallahassee, 55 up in Atlanta, cooler up north, 49 in Boston, and 53 in Washington, D.C. Up in the northwest, looking 42 out in Denver, Colorado, 46 out in Salt Lake City, Utah, 39 out in Billings, looking at 30s up there. We're going to start seeing 50s down here over the next couple days. For tomorrow's forecast, again looking at 80s, 86 in San Antonio, 86 in Dallas, 79 out in Kansas City, again cooler, 56 out by Seattle and 59 out in Billings, 86 down in New Orleans, 85 out in Tallahassee. So even though we're going to start cooler, our temperatures are going to continue to be on the rise over the next, on the fall for the lows, but going to stay high in the 80s over the next couple days. We'll go ahead and send it back to the desk. Ryan, Raquel, what are we talking about?
We're going to travel to Asia, where disaster relief officials in Cambodia have reported that over 100 people have died in the past few days due to recent flooding from heavy rains in Southeast Asia.
Yes, along the Mekong River, a major water artery in Southeast Asia, it overflowed its banks, and that has been affecting everyone who's been living nearby that area.
A big issue. Over 1.5 million people affected, and the local Red Cross in Cambodia is reporting that over 22,000 families have had to flee their homes.
Yes, and it also has affected like 17 out of 22 provinces. Now, I mean, we have like winter storms going on in the United States, but luckily for us, we're done with the flooding for the most part right now.
That's right. Most of the country is going to remain pretty dry over the forecast period, with the exception of the mid-Atlantic. We've got that coastal storm off the Carolina coast, so could see some flooding there. But in the meantime, the local forecast is looking really good.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that, just the dry air and cool temperatures this week. Chris, tell me more about it.
Yeah, guys, that's right. And we saw a picture-perfect fall, like day-to-day cloudy skies with that pumpkin orange mix, that great day to enjoy your pumpkin spice latte. 74 degrees was the high, well below average for where we should be in the low 80s. This morning, a little chilly, just about average, a little low 60s, but we're going to get to the 50s tonight and through the next few nights. So brace yourself. 74 degrees though tonight, or right now, is where we sit here in Tallahassee with partly cloudy skies. Those clouds are finally thinning out, and we're going to see a clear night, which is going to allow those temperatures to just fall like a rock down into the upper 50s. 74 degrees here in Tallahassee, 72 in Quincy, 73 in Bainbridge, and 70 for you folks in Mariana. And then as we head to our east, 72 where they still have clouds in Perry, and 76 in Valdosta where they saw a little bit more sun. Now the radar shows there's those clearing skies, I should say. You can see the the cloud cover that we had today, it's finally drifting to the south and weakening, and we still have some moisture and clouds to deal with across South Florida, but that's not going to be an issue for us. We have a lot of dry weather in the forecast, actually no rain to be found. The cloudy conditions that we saw today, those are going to be disappearing for sunshine as that low pushes off to the north, and we trade out the clouds for blue skies, high pressure abounds, and this is going to be a long-term pattern, at least for the next week. So no rain to be found. If you have any outdoor plans this weekend and into next week, it's going to be beautiful. Enjoy those cool mornings and those pleasant afternoons in the low 80s, no humidity. It's going to be beautiful weather. Moisture still in South Florida, but that will not be making approach to us at all. Beach day is going to be perfect for tomorrow. Maybe a little chilly in the morning, but we will warm up with the sunshine. 1 to 2 foot seas, northeast wind, which is going to usher in that cooler air. But great day to get out on the beach or the boat for that matter. Light chop, abundant sunshine. Hey, what kind of day? Maybe get out there for the morning sunrise at 7:37 a.m. Enjoy the sunrise on the water. Can ask for better weather, at least in my opinion. Tonight though, 59 degrees with mostly clear skies. We're going to see those clouds decrease, and then that's going to allow for those temperatures to drop. A few clouds there, and then tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. Highs in the low 80s, much more sunshine than we saw today, so we will see those temperatures make it to the 80s, if you can think that. And then as we head into your 7-day forecast, no more clouds after Thursday, at least for the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday looking clear, but look at those lows, 59 tomorrow night or tomorrow morning when you wake up. 56 on Friday morning with cooler temperatures in the suburbs, and then warming up slightly ahead before the next cold front, which should be a dry one, but then it will usher in another chance of cooler air come the middle of next week, and could even be a bigger cool front than this one, with highs in the mid 80s and lows around 60. But we'll take it back to the desk, guys, for more information across Tallahassee. Give us some more info.
Thanks, Chris. Well, there's actually a lot of events, or outdoor events, going on this weekend. We have the Greek Food Festival. There's actually a color run going on Saturday. And I believe there's also
a concert.
a Luke Bryan concert.
Yeah, the weather's going to be perfect to do that. And if none of those are on any of your itineraries, then it'd be a great weekend. Maybe decorate the house for Halloween.
Yes,
or,
that's right. Halloween is coming up.
Grab a few pumpkins at the pumpkin patch. I mean, the weather's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, so if you don't want to make those outdoor plans, maybe you just want to cuddle up inside and maybe just sip some hot chocolate, because the temperatures will drop this weekend as that high pressure system does move into our area and just bring us down a few degrees, right?
Yeah, cool us off, maybe turn the AC off a little bit, but a 7-day forecast, if you want to take another quick glance at it again, there you go. Temps going to hang on into the low to mid 80s for highs for the foreseeable future. Look at that. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, so if you're also making any travel plans, this might be the weekend to do it. With the cold front and the high pressure system the cold front just moving out and the high pressure in place, if you're making travel plans, for some of us who are traveling to Charleston, this will be a nice weekend. So just to wrap up the show, just follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, and just tune in again for tomorrow night.
That's right. Send us your pictures. I'm student meteorologist Ryan Smithies.
And I'm Raquel Nakora. Have a good night, Tallahassee.